Hey guys, it's Quickie Baby, and football has returned to World of Tanks. I'm going to let you know everything there is to know about this new fun mode and how to hopefully be man of the match. So football in World of Tanks involves 2 teams of 3 players each, all playing in T62A Sport Editions. And this vehicle is the most heavily armored tank that's ever been in World of Tanks. 999mm of armor all round, and considering that you only have 50mm of penetration on your high explosive rounds of the 100mm main armament this tank gets, that means that in true football style, it's not about injuring the other team, right? It's about hopefully putting your ball in the enemy's net more times than they do so to you. Now, each round is a maximum of 7 minutes, and it's the first to 3 that manages to win. And if it's a draw by the end of it, well then you're going to have to see what happens later on when we go into a kind of golden goal format there. Or, alternatively, if no team manages to score a golden goal, it becomes keeping the ball in the enemy's half for as much of time as possible out of the 3 minutes. And so what you find is that there are no draws in Tank Ball. As far as I'm aware, it's impossible to get a draw in this. And that's a good feature, because I think in the version that we had a couple of years ago, there was actually a lot of draws happening. Oh, good save there by the enemy goalkeeper. That was a bit of a shame. We managed to get a bit of a breakaway there, and you might have noticed that I was driving incredibly fast, and that's because there is a supercharger, a turbocharger consumable that you can use. Now, this is not cheap. It costs you 15,000 credits to use a turbocharger per match, which completely sucks, right? That's half the fun of this kind of game mode gone when you have to invest credits in the game. But more on that later. I'm just going to give you some general tips. I actually managed to win 11 games in a row playing this game mode, and eventually I did start to get the hang of it. So the most important thing, obviously, is to just try and keep shooting that ball towards the enemy's half. And every time it's in your half, you've got to try and play defense. So what I need to do right now is try and get my tank behind the ball, between the ball and hopefully our net. And that is the key. Generally, it's also very useful if you have a goalkeeper sitting in here. But sometimes your friends aren't going to be able to do that. And sometimes your friends are going to shoot the ball across the face of your goal and allow the enemy to snipe one in. Absolutely disastrous play there by our team. Oh, that's the worst thing that you can do, by the way. One of my #1 tips is to not shoot your ball in front of our goal. Well, unless you want to lose, right? Also, as you can see here, it is actually possible to flip your tank in this. But unfortunately, some kind of ref comes on and manages to flip the tank back over. A shame that. I was hoping he got an equivalent of a red card and it would be 3 versus 2 for the rest of the game, right? Maybe not. Alright, so what other kind of things have I thought about while playing this game mode? Well, one thing that a lot of people seem to do, there's a lot of players that will completely focus on just shooting the enemies. And now shooting the enemies is a valid tactic. If you shoot their tracks and you take their tracks off, you're going to keep them stationary for maybe 1, 2, possibly 3 seconds. But the most important thing to do, and I've found the easiest way to win, is just to keep shooting that ball onwards and then look for those clean breaks. Also, another tip is to not be looking at the football when it's up in the air. Do you see there's a white ring around the ball? When the ball goes sky high, you can actually look for that white ring that's traveling on the ground. It's a lot better than looking at the shadow. Whoa, what a shot! Yeah, we got one back. Now it's 1-1. Great result there. And also, after you score a goal or the enemy scores a goal, get ready to shoot again. Look at that beautiful hit. We got 2 in a row. It's the best way of making a comeback into this game. Now it's 2-1. We only need one more. There you go, we hit another one, but unfortunately the enemy team hit it as well. So we didn't quite manage to get it all the way. Now we're going to use our turbocharger to take a shot. Oh, come on, we can make it. Oh, they track us while we're using our turbocharger. Track us again. Come on, let's get it in. One more. Yeah, there's a 3rd one. We win the game. Great result. I think I scored every single goal that game, or maybe one of them actually counted as an own goal. There's a bit of a bug in the replay system, where if you score an own goal, and yes, it was this guy on the enemy team, he actually seems to get 4 bonus points. So a little bit of a shame there that we don't get the hat trick, but that was quite a comeback. It was looking grave at one point, and it shows you how easy it is to quickly turn around your games. And in fact, starting strong is my #1 tip to you. If you start as the midfielder, so to say, or the person in the middle of the map, and you get a chance to go straight in, definitely take it. Look at that. We ram the ball, we chip the ball over the enemy player, 1 immediately in. A goal all the way for us. Now get back into position and be ready to launch that ball again. Time it, yep, right over the players. They don't know what's going on. And when you get the ball going like this towards the goal, it is very, very, very hard for anyone to stop it. Oh, that cheeky guy on our team, he actually took one of the goals away from us there. But oh well, I guess we can't be too greedy, right? Unfortunately, I missed the shot here like a big donkey, but hopefully we can progress with the supercharger, or turbocharger I should say, on towards the enemy base. So the enemy team actually managed to get one back. What a shame. Nice play by the enemy. But again, as soon as you think a goal is almost guaranteed to be secured, then it's time to start trying to shoot that ball towards the enemy net. Good shot there by one of my teammates to start to progress it, and this is where you want to get closer. One thing I should also mention, oh, lovely shot in there, through there. God, hits the post, come on. And this, hopefully, we got a clean shot. Oh, we miss it. What a potato aim that was. Disaster. He manages to push the ball up the rim and gets it over our head. Oh, we can't let that happen. We got to get it back in there. So, do you know what? I've had a hell of a lot of fun playing this game mode so far. When I initially played it, I didn't understand how intricate it actually was. And I kind of thought, oh, well, this is just another silly game mode, right? But after I played it around for a little bit, I figured out that once you start to get a hang of dribbling the ball like this, and you control it, it just feels so sweet to put in goals like that and win the game for your team. So one thing you might notice here is that the stadium has changed, and that's because previously we were playing on Himmelsdorf Arena and now we were playing on the Stade Eiffel. So the initial beginning is just so important. I really recommend that you do use speed governors. It can give you that little bit of an extra boost. And I've run speed governors for the entirety of a 7-minute game before, and it hasn't managed to damage my vehicle. Getting little cheeky tracking shots into the enemy team there is very useful for controlling their movements, especially when you think that they're getting into a position. And just look how high that ball went. Again, use the ring to your knowledge. It's quite hard to see the ball sometimes, but as long as you keep an eye on the ring, then hopefully you can get some shots in. So a bad hit from me, but one of my allies seems to manage to clear there. He's still just chilling over there. I guess he just doesn't want to. Oh. Also, be careful with ramming your opponents because you're also going to detrack yourself, but that can also be very useful, putting in a filthy slide tackle to be able to get them down. So 3.5 minutes later into this game, pretty much nothing noteworthy has happened until this moment. An excellent shot by the enemy team. Goes right towards one of my defenders. It bumps off his head, and oh, disaster into the back of the net. What a bit of drama in there. An own goal, for goodness sake. Luckily, we managed to get the ball back into the enemy's half, and this is one of your sitters. Yeah, good stuff. Do you know what? Actually, the guy who scored an own goal made a comeback and put that one into the back of the net. So hats off to that gentleman. But unfortunately for us, we were not prepared. And look at this. The enemy are getting the ball back. I fire it towards the goal. What a disaster there. But it wasn't actually me who put it finally into the net. I was hoping that I could just chip it away to the side. Maybe we can make a comeback here. Oh, goodness. So that's 2 own goals for our team. It looks like we're more dangerous than the enemies, right? But we've got 2 minutes left. So this is really neck and neck stuff. We've got to get one back. We're still down 2-1. Now there's 25 seconds left on this game and the enemy are still winning by 2-1. Come on! Get it in! Get it closer! Oh, it's up in the air. Somebody's got to make a header, right? No, come on, reload. Yes, no! Come on! Oh, yes! Yes! Get it in! Yeah, what a shot. Looks like that guy who scored the first own goal actually managed to secure 2, putting us back in. Fantastic stuff. And so with literally 2 seconds left on that game, we managed to even the scores, and now we've got a chance during what they call extra time. So in extra time, it's the first person to score a goal, or alternatively, keep the ball in the enemy's half for 100 seconds out of the 4 minutes that you have. But look at this. A great ram at the beginning. They've led us straight in. What a comeback. Absolutely unreal there that we were able to even the score with 2 seconds left and then be able to score the golden goal within 20 seconds. However, while scoring the golden goal might be wonderful, it's not the only way to win in extra time. Take this game for example. 7 minutes, no goals scored. I know everyone dislikes that right when it happens in football, when it's 0-0 at full time. What a boring game that usually is. Nevertheless, in tank ball, there is always a winner, at least by the end of it. Because, as we can see, even if a team is unable to score the golden goal within the 4 minutes of extra time there are, you can see that a counter starts ticking up. This is the enemy's counter, and when that reaches 100, we are going to lose. So you might be wondering, well, how is their counter going up? Well, that's because they've got the ball in our half. So as long as the ball is in our half, that counter is going to be going up. And 100 seconds later, we are going to lose. Let's just speed this up a little bit, and you'll see that we do actually manage to get the ball into the enemy's half. And then slowly but surely, our counter starts popping up as well. And so that means that one team is always going to win, which is always a nice thing, because I believe in the tank mode 2 years ago, there were a hell of a lot of draws. And as we can see here, 10 seconds left, as long as we can keep the ball. Oh my god, no, what a drama. No, this didn't really happen, did it? Are you serious? We had 9 seconds left and they've got the ball into our half. We have to get it out within the next 14 seconds or I'm going to lose. Oh no, come on, seriously? No, I missed it! What a disaster, ram it! Oh no, a tackle. 3, 2, 1, and bang. Enemy team by earning more control points, as it's called. And you know what? I think Wargaming have done a great job with this extra time feature, and it's nice that at least one team is going to win and therefore earn some of the lovely credits and crew experience that you can, as I'm going to highlight. So what does tank football look inside your garage? Well, you have a T62A Sport Edition, as I mentioned earlier on, or at least I think I did. It has 999mm of all-round armor, and that's why you simply can't damage the enemy vehicles. All you can do is take their tracks off to be able to slow them down. One thing that's absolutely fantastic about this year is that the T62A Sport actually counts as a reward vehicle, and so that means that you can use any Soviet medium tank crew in the T62A Sport without having to spend credits or gold to be able to retrain them into it. And so what that means is I've taken my commander from my Object 140 and I'm using him in my T62A Sport, and so it doesn't feel like you're wasting that crew training or forced to spend 20,000 credits or even 200 gold to be able to retrain him for the vehicle. One other nice perk about it being a reward tank is, remember, reward vehicles work in premium vehicles in the way that they gain 50% more crew experience per battle. And so I've actually been finding that when I've had a really good game and I've completed a lot of the missions, I've been getting 4,500 crew experience for my commander by making sure the accelerate crew training is checked. Now, of course, if you're so inclined, you can uncheck the accelerated crew training and your experience will build up on the T62A Sport, and if you want, then you can convert it off, but remember, doing so requires gold. Now, if you have leftover experience on the T62A after the event ends in about a month, then that will be moved over to the MS1. But unless you have the gold to convert the experience, I thoroughly recommend you check that accelerated crew training in the top left-hand corner to be able to give your Soviet medium tank commander just that little bit more love. Now, of course, there are some crew skills that could be really useful in this game mode. Repairs is fantastic, of course. Brothers in Arms is also useful because that increases your crew skill by 5%. Also, I'd quite like to have Snapshot, and loads of the driving skills like off-road driving and clutch braking could also be rather nice indeed, and even Smooth Ride for making those shots on the move. And so if you're really wanting to be super competitive, you might even want to consider retraining your commander just for this event. So if you want to look extra pretty when you're out on the field, then there are a variety of camouflages that you can choose, but be warned, these are going to cost you 2,500 credits per week. Well, actually that's not too bad, right? There are also 2 emblem slots on either side of your tank, and you can choose between 4 different emblems that are available, or alternatively, and this is probably the coolest feature, you can have your country's flag or maybe just a flag that you feel affiliated with on either side of your tank. And I think that is the coolest thing. But unfortunately, it costs 15,000 credits to have your country's flag for a week. And unfortunately, if you want to have your favorite nation's flag on your tank for an entire month, that is going to cost you 60,000 credits. I think this is probably one of my least favorite aspects of this fun mode, right? The fact that Wargaming are trying to monetize it so heavily. But then again, I guess these flags don't provide any benefit to the gameplay, they just make you look cool, right? But I think Wargaming really missed out with this feature. They could have made this completely free, and it would have been a lovely gesture towards the players to enjoy what, after all, is meant to be a fun mode. So what kind of equipment should you equip on your T62A Sport Edition? Well, I thoroughly recommend using vertical stabilizers, a gun rammer for sure. That really helps at the beginning of the game to put out that extra shot. And also I recommend using improved ventilation. But if you're so inclined, you might want to use a toolbox to get your tracks back on faster, or alternatively enhanced torsion bars to be able to give them that little bit more extra health. So this event does bring a brand new consumable called a turbocharger, and unfortunately Wargaming just had to make this a little bit pay to win, right guys? The turbocharger costs 15,000 credits per game that you use it in, thus meaning that you're pretty much always going to lose credits playing this game mode unless you have a fantastic result. However, the turbocharge is extremely useful as it increases your top speed limit up to about 100 kilometers an hour while going forwards, and also makes you able to go backwards at pretty much the same rate that a normal tank can go forwards. And so while the turbocharger is certainly a really cool feature, and I think it adds to the gameplay that kind of feeling of I'm going to use it now and it makes you feel special, it's just really lame that you have to pay so many credits to be able to do so. So what kind of missions are available? And missions are the only way that you're going to be earning credits and experience in this game mode. So first up, you can get Attacker. To be able to achieve Attacker, you have to score at least one goal in the game, and you will be rewarded with 7,500 credits and 500 experience. Now, while getting the final touch on the ball is important if you want to add to your goal tally, it's not everything, right? And generally the people who win games are the playmakers, and there is a mission available to that. So if you're not the person who gets the final hit on the ball and you've still participated in the play that enables the goal for the goal scorer, then you're also going to get 7,500 credits and 500 experience. And then finally, also to the victor, the spoils, there is a winner mission. If you manage to win a game of tank football, then you will be rewarded with 5,000 credits and 500 experience. And so what you quickly find is that if you manage to do each of these missions in a game, that you are going to be rewarded with 1,500 experience and also 20,000 credits. And so if you're both a goal scorer, a playmaker, and you manage to win, you are actually going to be able to afford to use that turbocharger and also make 5,000 additional credits. But if you don't manage to actually score a goal or be a playmaker, then you're going to lose credits by using the turbocharger. There are also a few awards available to you if you are a collector of that kind of thing. There is Football Player 2016 to collect, and one thing that this also does is it records how many victories you get in a row, aka your combo wins. And for me currently that is 11. I'm having a lot of fun, and I also add that that is solo and not playing in a platoon. And so I think I must be having at least a positive role for my team. Also, if you manage to score 3 goals, all 3 of them in an individual game, then you will get hat trick. One thing that disappoints me, however, is that this hat trick achievement is the same as the football event that they had 2 years ago, and I really think that Wargaming should have differentiated that for kind of collectors purposes. Now, if you try out this game mode and you absolutely adore it, well, there are some really good rewards available for you. If you manage to get Playmaker 35 times, you will be rewarded with a whole wealth of personal reserves. 10 large free experience, 10 large crew experience, and 10 large battle experience. On the other hand, maybe you're the perfect attacker, you can get an equal kind of rewards for scoring 35 goals in games. And finally, there is one awesome reward if you manage to complete the attacker mission 150 times. Then you will become a legendary forward, and you will be rewarded with 15 large personal reserves that give plus 50% credits for an hour. And I can imagine that if you combine that with a premium account, you are going to be making millions and millions of credits. But I have to admit, even though I played this football game mode for 2 to 3 hours, and I was getting quite lucky with my wins, winning 11 in a row, I still have to complete 139 times. That is a lot of effort. We're talking about playing the football game mode for probably maybe 30 to 40 hours to be able to get those credit reserves. And so that's pretty much everything there is to the new World of Tanks football game mode. I'm really impressed. Wargaming have evidently put a lot of effort into this, especially compared to the event that happened a couple of years ago. And I think there's a lot more skill involved in this one and a hell of a lot less draws. I'm really looking forward to perhaps trying out a few of the Platoon games with this, as I can imagine it'd be really fun to get together with a couple of buddies and really practice some teamwork. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, or maybe it was just useful to you. If it was, please consider giving it a like down below. It really helps the channel out. And if you want to see what the football game mode looked like 2 years ago, then simply click through up here or use that more info icon in the top right hand corner of your screen. And let me know in the comments down below what you guys think about World of Tanks football. Is it as good as you hoped it was? And let me know in the comments down below what you guys think about World of Tanks football. Has it lived up to your expectations, or are you rather disappointed with it for whatever reason? And as always, thank you so much for watching. You've been epic, and hopefully I'll see you soon.